There we go. Welcome. Oh, well, it is Mercury retrograde, so getting on sometimes might be a little bit of a trickster, but that's okay. I'm here. So welcome everybody, and thank you for joining me. My name is Mary Jane Tracy, psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, and an astrologer, coming to you with the 411 of the shenanigans of the planets, bringing you some a little bit of the craziness that's happening. One of the things that was coming to me today, and as I went did my little Instagram thing and stuff this morning, and sitting with a lot of the energies that are coming in, is what I'm feeling is to take a path of least resistance. And what is that path of least resistance? Because there is so much, whenever you are resisting something or whenever you're pushing up against something, it's going to push back. So that's physics, equal and opposite reaction to whatever you're pushing up against. So if you're pushing up against and pushing up against, you're going to get a resistance. You're going to get something that is not in your alignment, not, bringing you to the fear, to where you feel out of balance. And as we are in a Libra energy is all about balance. It's all about bringing balance into what you are doing, bringing balance into how do you walk your walk? How do you talk your talk? That is stepping into that energy of the least resistance. I mean, you can go out and battle all kinds of things, battle all kinds of resistance. And I think that's what's happening right now. I mean, many people are battling. They're battling. And the more you battle, the more you're going to get the resistance, right? And this is where I feel like my guides are showing me, it's like, where can you go for least resistance? And that's where for me, what I've noticed and what seems to be coming in is to be connected. And when as I come into my alignment, I come into this connection of self. It is about standing. Where is my where is my place of least resistance, and bringing forth the changes I want to bring. So much goes through my mind because it brings in a lot of resilience, but sometimes in thinking, like my brain goes into so many different pathways. So when I think of the going of least resistance, the first thing is like, okay, is that I am just giving up, that I'm not, that you just comply and you just allow and move forward. But yet, there's this little spark that says, come into this light. Come out of the human drama. Come out of the nuttiness and step over here. As Byron Katie says, what would you be without that thought? What would you be without that thought that you're carrying around with you right now? What would life be like if you did not have that thought? And that's where I began to step into. It's like, what would I be without that thought? What would it be like to not, worry about this and that and the craziness of the world? What would it be like to step into the path of least resistance? And that do what I know is my due diligence in standing into my power. And in standing in that power and standing in that space of least resistance, that means there's a way of creating a nuance within your own self. And there's always another way of doing something. There's always another way of doing something. And, my mind runs on, like for so many, it's like, of say flying. I want to fly, I want to go somewhere. Yet there's other ways of going around if you don't want to take the plane, or if you don't want to um, take everything on board with you, you can check it. So there's ways of going around things that you don't have to deal with the resist and go into that resistance. And this is where the energy is coming in. The energies is showing where can you go with least resistance. And the more I start to step away from the craziness of the drama, of the illusions that are being put forward, the more I step into my alignment of peace. Because I'm not carrying around that thought. I'm not carrying around where there is a push and a shove to do something a certain way. And I find ulterior ways of doing it, ulterior ways of maybe even shopping, maybe even finding new ways of entertainment, connecting with others, finding ways of gathering with people. So there is a energy that wants to show you of coming into an alignment, a light of bringing you a place of least resistance. And this is where, if you are feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, or if you're getting that kind of knot in your stomach, that means that you're resisting something. There's something that you're getting upset, angry about. Why are you getting upset and angry? What is the reason behind it? What is that frustration that you are having within inside yourself? And to take a moment to look at it, feel it, and be able to release it, which is important. And it's just like, okay, path of least resistance with my hair. Of course, it doesn't matter what my hair is. It could be long, it could be short like it is now. I got to go with the path of least resistance. There's going to be, because I have a natural wave in my hair, that it's going to go and do. And I could put things on there. I could my daughter tries to, well, maybe mom, if we try and straighten it a little bit. And I'm just like, okay, it still brings in a little bit when we'll go ding. So honoring that ding that's there with my hair, that's what's coming forward for people, especially when it comes into the elixirs, the masking. All of that is coming into where can you go with the path of least resistance, and honoring what you are feeling, honoring in that direction. That's where the energy is. The energy is saying go where you can honor self, and coming into that place. And with Mercury retrograde, it is showing you that if you are going to push up against something, you're going to get a resistance with it. It's like your computer goes down, if you have, like, back up all your stuff right now. This is where you go and say you are taking a trip or you are going somewhere. There's going to be some sort of delay. Somebody's going to be late. Misinformation's going to come in because you thought you'd meet somebody at this time and it was the next day or what have you. So this is where it's like, okay, my least resistant, let me double check. Let me see which is the right way I can do this, which is more into a flow, and allow myself to go into the flow, because when Mercury's retrograde is more of the feminine energy of coming into a flow instead of going, push, 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 boom, 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 boom. And that's one of the reasons why with Mars being in Libra, it's a frustration because it is a flowing energy. It's an energy that says, okay, let's just allow ourselves to move with this and adjust where we need to adjust. And in doing that, that is bringing forth more of a peacefulness. Lots of anger, lots of frustration coming in. And I know there is October is going to be a little bit nutty, and I think my husband was just mentioning something about some Alberta's going to be doing something. And I'm like, okay, let them do what they need to do or what they feel is right. But I'm still going to find my path of least resistance. I'm going to find my path of connecting and communicating with where I need to connect and communicate. I'm going to step out and join where I can with people of like-minded and celebrate where I can. This is where I can come forth and allow for the changes that I want to make in my life to be the changes I want to make in my life. And stand hold with my truth and my beliefs. When I see many people and I know they get so angry and they get so frustrated and then they're freaking out all over the place, this is where the frustrations for themselves, and this is where pulling you into a place that is a lower, can become a lower vibration. I can see, as humans are, there is going to be where there are a lot of frustrations, a lot of people feeling overwhelmed, a lot of feelings of isolation, and that can lead to depression and feeling angry, because Libras, I mean, everybody says, yeah, everybody loves a Libra, but Libras are pissy. They can be very pissy. They can be very, they hold the sword. They can be very vindictive at times. And if they don't get their way, they will go and pout and they will stomp their feet because it has to go their way. It has to go the way I am thinking this is what I want. Nah. So temper tantrums, people having temper tantrums. That that's part of it, right? And this is, if you have strong Libra in your chart, whether it's a sun, moon, or rising, this is showing you that, look at the places where you have your temper tantrums, where you don't want anybody to go against what you are saying, right? Just like Aries. And looking at that path of least resistance for yourself. Yeah, there's some heaviness. Like there's some really crazy, Eris, the goddess of discord. She, she takes the path of least resistance. She really does. She'll just show you, well, you know what? She will cause the discord to happen in order for you to see, is that really where you want it to go? Is that really what you want it to do? And open up for you to observe and to see things in a little bit clearer way. And look at, this is why, we have that square to Pluto, right? There is this energy of change and transformation. And there's always two roads that we could take for making this change. We can take this change and bring it into a very higher energy frequency love. We really can. We can bring this into where we can coexist and work with one another in order to create a place of harmony and peace and bring in a more tranquility, and allow ourselves to grow in something that is beautiful. And yet, there is the other half where we can get frustrated and angry and go to the place where we want to fight, and we get upset, and we're so angry that we want to push back. And definitely we will see that also. It's our choice whether we want to go into that or not go into that. That's our choice. This is where we come into a place where we can see where our energies are and tune in. Because the other thing with Mercury retrograde, it's it's muddled. It's muddled, right? And Andrea, who's in Aries, across the street from Libra is Aries. Aries is the feisty. It's the I am. I am, right? It is the head. And here we have Mercury, who is the ruler of Aries in Libra, where it's just like, oh my God, I don't want to be here because I got to think about everything and I got to work about everything. And Mercury, who's there, who's some of the information might feel like it's coming through, but it's like a channel where it's kind of choppy. So if you've ever had a CB, a CB radio, or where you hear sort of, or a bad phone line, before we could, right now it's like very odd that maybe you find a choppy line where you get bits and pieces like hello, where are you going, like things like that. So with Mercury retrograde, so it's really about tuning in. It's really about tuning in and flowing with this energy. Now, Mercury retrograde for 21 days. And then it will go from 25 degrees to 10 degrees, and then go forward again from 10 to 25, and then come out of its shadow and go into Scorpio. So this is really, and especially with Venus in Scorpio, about us aligning with ourselves and with how it makes us feel. And that can be a little bit uncomfortable for many people, because this means I really trusting self and trusting that and taking that path that feels least resistant to one another. So this is a day where you're going to find some people having temper tantrums. Communications are going to be kind of muffled, and news is going to come out of, there's going to be surprise news coming out from nowhere. Just boom, it's going to be there. And we're also going to feel like there's going to be some changes, especially when it comes to rules and regulations are going to come in, because Mercury's going back over what it just came through. So we look back at about 3 weeks ago, what was the talk, what was going on, and Mercury's going to be going back over all of that and raising that back up. And it's going to have a lot to do with law, because Libra is real law. And it's going to have to do with how that law is communicated, and relationships, all relationships on all sides. So I'm going to pull a card for our day and see. I got this deck on the weekend from Blessed Circle. They were at the market, and you can order stuff from Blessed Circle online, and it's free shipping anywhere in Canada. So, Andrea, take the path of least resistance when it comes to this Mercury in retrograde. And let's see what our first card is. 17, but it's reversed. It's a lookout. Lookout. Now, 17 in the tarot is more of like the tower, but this is reversed. So this is where it's like, lookout may seem to have fallen and lost its position, but he is now free from the heat of the battle. You may find yourself in the throes of a sudden and different loss, perhaps a job, a relationship, or a major creative opportunity. So painful and challenging as it may seem, it is truly a gift in disguise. So there's a gift coming. As I said, Mercury retrograde is showing you, and Uranus is coming in. So there is a gift that's coming forward for us, and whether that is with something that's going to bring in sudden change. Now, sometimes losing a job doesn't seem like a good thing, but it may be that it's time to move on into a different direction. It could be with a relationship that it's over, a friendship that's been around for a long time, and you're no longer in alignment with that friendship. So it may seem, but you are on your way for something larger than you in your life. So something greater is coming in. We just may not see it, and it is making us uncomfortable. And we have the one of keys um, reversed. It's this one. So it's, the one of keys, the architect. So it's looking like maybe we have to look at what we are wanting to build, and maybe we're not getting all the information of what we want to build as yet. So it's taking that time to look at what we are wanting to build. I'm still not knowing these cards because I just got them. So looking up the meanings and stuff like that. But even with looking at that, I mean, it's showing me that there is buildings, but maybe the building that we're building right now, it's wanting us to take a different look at the things that are coming up for us. And this is like the plans have changed or perhaps even fallen. So this is telling us things are changing. Things are changing. They may not be the way that we want them to change, but they're falling apart. Things that we have tried to put together are no longer working for us. And the Ark of the Covenant is like, in all of that, are we not keeping our truth? Are we not keeping in alignment within our divine? Because it's the Ark of the Covenant. The covenant is that it is a promise that God made to his people. So there is, when it's reversed, it's like, is there something that we feel has been dishonest, and somebody's not keeping their truth about things? They're not keeping in their alignment. And this is where it's like something has broken and something has fallen. So there's something to do with legal matters of the contract. So there's something there that's coming in that's of significance. Your life will supply, not work until you do. So something's coming in that's saying that there's still something that you might have to do, but you got to take that road of least resistance in order to do it. And knowing that, the direction that you might take is to be directed by, don't be directed by your fears, or, this is where emotional needs instead of what's best for you. So don't go into that fear mode with everything, because change is happening. And the overall spiritual advice card is the Three of Forces. So it's like looking at your home and stability. So things might be feeling unstable for you at this time. Things might be feeling overwhelming for you at this time. But coming into your trust and your guidance, this is where you imagine with, what is your purpose, and coming into your sense of direction by listening to self, right? And when you listen to self is so important. I'm just looking at Andrew's, the least of resistance is sleep. And that's a mind over matter. It really comes into, you know, of coming into your peace, coming into that peace. When we're fighting and when we're pushing and when we're fighting and when we're pushing, it takes a toll on ourselves and it takes a toll on our body. Finding that place where we can call in our angels, call in our guides, come into that grounding, come into that breath work is is an important part, especially as we go forward within this energies right now, because it is bringing in a lot of push and shove upon people, where we need to take a look at um, self. So, reversed indicates some sort of separation, reductions, or reorganization. So, there may be distance between you and your family, business endeavors. So, there's a distance that's coming in. So, all of this is saying that there's a huge change that's coming. There's a change that's going to come in with a disruption within family, within friends, within jobs, within your relationships. And this is where to be downsized or brought to an end. But take heart, the empty nest is always a sign of a happy flight. So the card reveals it's telling us to let go of the old reign in your plans and take the new direction. There's a new direction that's coming. But that's the part, is that many people don't want to take the new direction because they're afraid. They're afraid of that direction. But that direction is the direction of least resistance. That direction is letting us know that, yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel different because we're coming into a place of light. We're coming into a place that is going to bring us into our personal freedom and professional transformation. It's going to allow us to move into that direction and clear away from what was burning, clear away from what no longer is working for us, and seeing that alignment. That Ark of the Covenant one is a big one, because it is a push in our belief systems. It's a push in how we function in our day to day. And it comes into about legal matters, may seem, but there is a more important reference to karmically with this reversed Ark of the Covenant is toppled, and you have broken your contract with higher self. So here we go. It's like, how are you connecting to your divine guidance? How do you connect to your inner being? How do you connect with your angels? Because your karmic work and put your higher purpose aside because you're too busy and it's too hard. And you have knowingly chosen to have directed by fears and emotional needs instead of what's best for you. So this is coming in. It's like, if you're being directed, all of this is showing, if you're being directed by fear and you're being pushed into something that doesn't feel right, come into that alignment, come into what feels right for yourself, and move into where it comes into more of a flow, because that's where Mercury retrograde is. Mercury retrograde is in a flow right now. It is not in a push and a shove. And sometimes if you can wait for a little bit, and before you make a decision, or before you jump the gun, then you're going to find that you might come into a place that feels calmer and more aligned for yourself. And in doing so, you will find that it's the War of the Roses. Feeling more into what you are wanting to feel. And the War of the Roses was two families fighting, right? So the War of the Roses is, the storm clouds gather in the sky. So the card depicts a war within a relationship and or battle within the heart. So if you're coming into a place where you are in alignment, you're not going to have that battle. But if you are battling, if you are fighting it, there is going to be a battle. There's going to be a war. And most often this is a relationship, is romantic or co-workers or boss or family or friends. So people are going to find that with the energies that are coming forward, they're going to feel like they're battling. They're going to feel like, I don't want to change. I don't want to do this. But the situation is nothing less than karmic. There's a karmic energy that's coming in that is getting you to listen and take action. Awareness, vision, and self-honoring are important. Now, if you have taken the karmic release, take note here. Take note here. This is for you to look at the plans to, and make the plans to leave the battlefield. Like, what am I battling? What am I fighting up against? What am I, I have to, have awareness and vision and self-honoring are required in order for you to move into a positive direction for self and not stay into that place where it's damaging for you. Lots to think of, because there's a lot that's going on that can be damaging for ourselves if we are going to be pushing and shoving in many different ways. So there's always a way around things. There's always a different way or different road to take. But sometimes it's not the road that we want to take because it's not it's the 4 cups. It's like, it's not what I said it would be. So sending you out so much love, and honor your path, honor your direction, honor how you are feeling. And if you are needing to reach out in that, because there's a lot of energy that's coming in for a lot of people, a lot of overwhelmness. So you can, definitely reach out to the 1-800 lines and stuff like that. If you need to set up coaching sessions with me, definitely let me know, because I have different packages on my website on thegurumama.com, and you can go and look at the different packages, and we can start out some coaching and sessions for you. So have a blessed one, everyone, and we will talk to you in a couple days. Don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. I'm taking the path of least resistance right now and really working more onto my grounding, my home base, and the directions that I need to be taking, not only for myself personally, but to bring more, to bring better quality for you. So have a blessed one. May the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all you do. Have a blessed one, everybody. Namaste. Bye-bye.